Wait, you're telling me humans have been deliberately underperforming in the Galactic Olympics for the past 30 years? Ambassador Zixtal's third eye twitched violently as he stared at the human representative across the conference table. Oh yeah, big time. Jessica Thompson leaned back in her chair, boots propped up on the pristine white table in flagrant violation of at least 6 different diplomatic protocols. She took a long sip from her coffee mug, which bore the text, "Your planet's gravity is adorable. We figured it would be better for galactic relations if we didn't, completely demolish everyone's self-esteem right out of the gate." The Arxian delegation's collective membrane frills began oscillating in what humans had learned to recognize as their species' version of an anxiety attack. High Counselor Verp TK's translator crackled as they spoke. But the records. The Centaurian athlete Nexvax holds the current record for the 100-meter sprint at 8.2 seconds. With coffee almost coming out of her nose, Jessica snorted. Yeah, about that. My kid's high school track team could beat that. We've had humans running sub 7 seconds since before we even made first contact. The assembled alien diplomats erupted into chaos. The crystalline form of a Moloxi representative tinkled against the floor as it passed out. The 3 Vespidian delegates' frantic chatter overwhelmed their universal translators. Order. The meeting chair, a normally unflappable Talaxian named Oro, slammed all 4 of their appendages onto the table. Ambassador Thompson, these are serious allegations. Are you suggesting that humanity has been sandbagging across all athletic events? Not just athletics, Jessica replied, pulling up a holoscreen with a casual flick of her wrist. Check out this. Remember last year's Pangalactic Chess Championship? The one in which Grandmaster QXtillion won spectacularly against your representative? A Proximan analyst chirped. Yeah, we sent our 43rd ranked player and told her to make it look good. The room fell silent enough to hear a quantum particle drop. Why, then? Finally, Ambassador Zixtal was able to sputter. Jessica's face became slightly more relaxed. Look, we discovered very early on in our own history that nothing breeds resentment quite like someone coming along and completely dominating everything right away. This is something that we learned the hard way. In fact, we prefer it to be a member of the galactic community rather than its gym instructor. She pulled up another holographic display, this one showing various human athletic achievements from before first contact. Besides, we figured it would be more fun this way. Give everyone a chance to create their own training strategies and techniques. It's been fascinating watching how different species approach the same challenges. A diplomat from Moloxi who had just regained consciousness suddenly fainted once more. But surely in the intellectual competitions, High Counselor Verptek began hopefully. Oh man, don't even get me started on the quantum computing tournaments, Jessica chuckled. To keep things interesting, we have been running our solutions through randomizers to add errors. The Arxian delegation's frills were now vibrating at a frequency that threatened to shatter nearby glassware. A Vespidian representative buzzed, "This is absurd." Nay. Prove it. We want to see a demonstration. Jessica's smile became prey-like. Funny you should mention that. We were speculating that it might be time to loosen up a bit. Which is why I've been authorized to announce that in this year's Galactic Olympics, humanity will be competing at full capacity for the first time. The room erupted once more, this time with a mix of outrage, disbelief, and intense interest in the upcoming betting odds from some of the more gambling-inclined species. But before anyone gets too worked up, Jessica continued, raising her voice slightly over the chaos. In addition, we are announcing the Ultra League, a brand new division. No holds barred, no sandbagging, just pure performance. We figure it's time to see what everyone can really do when they're not holding back. Are you suggesting that other species have been understating their capabilities as well? Oro asked, all 4 eyes narrowing. Jessica rolled her eyes and said, "Come on. You really think the Proximans, with their quantum-entangled nervous systems, can't do better than their current gymnastics routines?" Or that the Vespidians, who can process visual information faster than our supercomputers, are really giving it their all in the reaction time events. The guilty shuffling of various appendages around the room told its own story. Who is ready to stop playing around and show the galaxy what we really can do? Jessica continued, her smile now genuine and warm. After about 3.7 seconds of silence, Ambassador Zixtal's third eye stopped twitching and began emitting competitive fire. The Triumvirate accepts this challenge, Ambassador Thompson. Though I feel compelled to warn you, you may find you're not the only ones who've been holding back. Jessica exclaimed, finally removing her feet from the table and sitting up straight. Now that's what I'm talking about, she exclaimed. Do any other people want in on this? Fair warning, our 0G basketball team is going to blow your minds. One by one the representatives began to nod, buzz, crystallize, or otherwise indicate their assent. The Malaxi representative, who had fainted twice, even managed to stay conscious long enough to signal their enthusiastic participation. Then it settled, Oro declared, using all four hands to make the official gesture of agreement. The first Ultra League Galactic Olympics will commence in 6 standard months. May the best species win. Oh, we intend to, Jessica said with a wink, at least in some events. However, I have a feeling that we are all about to discover that the best is significantly more complicated than we anticipated. Jessica sat back and watched contentedly as the meeting disintegrated into exuberant discussions of upcoming events, altered rules, and increasingly bold predictions. Phase 1 of humanity's plan to spice up galactic sports had gone perfectly. Now she just had to figure out how to break it to them that humans had also been holding back in the culinary competitions, the dance contests, and, most shockingly, the interstellar meme championships. But that, she decided, could wait for another day. Right now she had to call Earth and tell them to start training their pole vaulters for 0G conditions. The galaxy was about to learn why humans had coined the phrase, go big or go home. And humanity had no intention of going home. The next 6 months would see training facilities across the galaxy operating at unprecedented levels. Species that had long concealed their true capabilities began openly practicing their actual abilities. The Proximans revealed that they could actually perform simultaneous backflips across 11 different dimensions. The Vespidians demonstrated that their hive mind could solve complex mathematical equations while performing interpretive dance. In ways that transformed their gymnastics routines into mind-boggling works of living art, even the crystalline Malaxi demonstrated their capacity to refract light. But it was the humans who truly shocked everyone during the Ultra League opening ceremonies. Jessica, serving as Earth's flag-bearer, didn't just walk into the stadium. She parkoured her way across the delegation's heads while juggling plasma balls and reciting all 7 languages of Shakespeare's works backwards. The subsequent matches would go down in history as the beginning of a new era in galactic sports. Not only were records broken, but they were also shattered, shredded, and incorporated into contemporary art installations. In an effort to keep up with the impossible feats being accomplished every hour, the betting agencies went bankrupt. 3 new branches of physics had to be invented just to explain what the Arxians were doing in the high jump. And through it all, Jessica couldn't stop grinning. Because she knew that even now, humanity was still holding back just a little bit. After all, they had to leave something for the next Olympics. As she watched a human teenager casually break the light-speed barrier during the 400-meter dash, a feat that caused several theoretical physicists in the audience to have existential crises, Jessica made a mental note to start preparing the galaxy for the revelation about human cooking. The fact that the hot dog-eating champions of Earth had chosen to consume only a few hundred hot dogs rather than the usual thousands was going to cause quite a stir. However, that was a diplomatic issue for a different day. Right now, she had a bet to collect on the underwater basket weaving competition, where a human grandmother from Florida was about to demonstrate why Earth's retirement communities were the true powerhouses of extreme sports. There would be no going back. And that was exactly how humanity had planned it. The culinary crisis. 3 months after the inaugural Ultra League Galactic Olympics, Jessica found herself once again facing a room full of alien diplomats. She was, however, holding a plate of chocolate chip cookies this time. So, she began, watching as various alien sensory organs focused intently on the innocuous-looking baked goods. Who is interested in discussing the intergalactic culinary championships? The Vespidian representative's antennae curled into tight spirals. Ambassador Thompson, please tell me you haven't been holding back in the cooking competitions, too. Jessica took a bite of a cookie, maintaining direct eye contact with all 17 of Ambassador Zixtal's optical organs. Remember how humans only submitted simple dishes like hamburgers and pizza to the championships? Yes. The Maloxy representative's crystalline structure began vibrating in anticipation. Well, those weren't actually our normal. Wait, you're telling me humans have been deliberately underperforming in the Galactic Olympics for the past 30 years? As he looked across the conference table at the human representative, Ambassador Zixtal's third eye twitched violently. Oh yeah, big time. In flagrant disregard of at least 6 distinct diplomatic protocols, Jessica Thompson leaned back in her chair and propped her boots on the white table. She took a long sip from her coffee mug, which bore the text, "Your planet's gravity is adorable. We figured it would be better for galactic relations if we didn't, completely demolish everyone's self-esteem right out of the gate." The collective membrane frills of the Arxian delegation began to oscillate, evoking what humans had come to understand as the anxiety attack of their species. High Counselor Verp TK's translator crackled as they spoke. But the records. The Centaurian athlete Nexvax holds the current record for the 100-meter sprint at 8.2 seconds. Jessica snorted, coffee nearly coming out of her nose. Yeah, about that. My kid's high school track team could beat that. We've had humans running sub 7 seconds since before we even made first contact. The assembled alien diplomats erupted into chaos. A Maloxy representative fainted, their crystalline form tinkling against the floor. 3 Vespidian delegates began buzzing so intensely their universal translators overloaded. Order. The meeting chair, a normally unflappable Talaxian named Oro, slammed all 4 of their appendages onto the table. Ambassador Thompson, these are serious allegations. Are you suggesting that every sporting event has been sandbagging by humanity? With a casual flick of her wrist, Jessica responded, not just athletics. She pulled up a holoscreen. Check out this. Remember last year's Pangalactic Chess Championship? The one where Grandmaster QXtillion achieved a stunning victory over your representative? A Proximan analyst chirped. Yeah, we sent our 43rd ranked player and told her to make it look good. The room fell silent enough to hear a quantum particle drop. Why, then? Ambassador Zixtal finally managed to sputter. Jessica's face became slightly more relaxed. Look, we learned pretty early on in our own history that nothing breeds resentment quite like someone coming along and completely dominating everything right off the bat. In fact, we wanted to be part of the galactic community, not its gym teacher. She pulled up another holographic display, this one showing various human athletic achievements from before first contact. In addition, we reasoned that this would be more entertaining. Give everyone a chance to create their own training strategies and techniques. It's been fascinating watching how different species approach the same challenges. A Maloxy diplomat who had just regained consciousness promptly fainted again. However, High Counselor Verp Tech undoubtedly began with optimism in the intellectual competitions. Oh man, don't even get me started on the quantum computing tournaments, Jessica chuckled. To keep things interesting, we have been running our solutions through randomizers to add errors. The Arxian delegation's frills were now vibrating at a frequency that threatened to shatter nearby glassware. This is preposterous, a Vespidian representative buzzed. Nay. Prove it. We demand a demonstration. Jessica's smile became prey-like. Funny you should mention that. We were thinking it might be time to let loose a little. Which is why I've been authorized to announce that in this year's Galactic Olympics, humanity will be competing at full capacity for the first time. The room erupted again, this time with a mixture of outrage, disbelief, and, from a few of the more gambling-inclined species, intense interest in the upcoming betting odds. But before anyone gets too worked up, Jessica continued, raising her voice slightly over the chaos. In addition, we are announcing the Ultra League, a brand new division. No holds barred, no sandbagging, just pure performance. We figure it's time to see what everyone can really do when they're not holding back. Are you suggesting that other species have been understating their capabilities as well? Oro asked, all four eyes narrowing. Jessica rolled her eyes and said, come on. You really think the Proximans, with their quantum-entangled nervous systems, can't do better than their current gymnastics routines? Or that the Vespidians, who can process visual information faster than our supercomputers, are really giving it their all in the reaction time events? The guilty shuffling of various appendages around the room told its own story. Let's just call those the light versions. She pulled up a holoscreen showing footage from Earth's actual cooking competitions. When human chefs really try, this is what happens. The footage showed molecular gastronomy that defied several laws of physics, desserts that caused temporary synesthesia, and a pizza that somehow incorporated the concept of jazz as a flavor. By all that is sacred, High Counselor Verp Tick Tick whispered, their translator struggling to convey their awe. Is that chef creating a black hole out of pasta? Oh, that's Nona Giordano from Little Italy, Jessica said casually. She insists that's the only way to get the sauce density exactly right. Wait until you see what she does with garlic bread. The room descended into chaos once again, but this time it was punctuated by the sound of various alien species trying to process the implications of weaponized cuisine. But, Ambassador Zixtal's third eye was doing that twitching thing again. The spice tolerance competitions? Surely you weren't holding back there. Jessica's laugh could only be described as diabolical. You know those hot sauces we submitted? The ones your scientists rated as extremely dangerous. We feed those to human toddlers. On their cereal for breakfast. Suddenly, a Proximan analyst who was doing calculations jerked up. The competitive eating records. They're all lies, aren't they? Let's just say that Joey Chestnut's warm-up routine involves consuming a small moon. Another holoscreen was pulled out by Jessica, this one revealing the true capabilities of Earth's champions of competitive eating. Several diplomats had to look away. This is too much, Oro declared, all four hands clutching their head. First the Olympics, now this. What comes next? Are you going to tell us humans have been holding back in the arts as well? Jessica went suspiciously quiet. No, the Arxian delegation said in unison, their membrane frills practically vibrating off their bodies. Not the interspecies cultural exchange festival, too. Well, Jessica pulled up yet another holoscreen. Have you ever wondered why we only sent amateur kazoo players to the music competitions? The footage that followed showed human musicians performing pieces that existed in 17 dimensions simultaneously, dancers who had mastered the art of moving through time as well as space, and a particularly enthusiastic polka band whose performances technically qualified as a new form of sustainable energy. A weak buzz from a Vespidian representative said, "This can't be happening. You will then inform us that human memes." "Oh man," Jessica interrupted, grinning like a cat that had not only eaten the canary but had also secured the mineral rights to the entire aviary. "Let me tell you about shitposting." Jessica decided that it was finally time to deliver the biggest blow 3 hours later, as the diplomatic corps struggled to recover from the news that humans had developed a form of interpretive dance that could also file taxes. "So," she said, pulling out one final holoscreen. "Who wants to talk about what humans can really do with PowerPoint presentations?" The sound of multiple species fainting simultaneously echoed through the chamber. "Too soon?" Jessica asked the unconscious aliens. "Yeah, maybe we should save the PowerPoint revelation for next year." The galaxy's clearly not ready to learn about our ability to compress a 3-hour meeting into a 5-minute slide deck that also functions as a space-time portal. Jessica couldn't help but smile as she packed her holocube and gathered the remaining cookies, which, Jessica hadn't said, were actually capable of acquiring sentience if left at room temperature for an excessive amount of time. The galaxy was slowly learning that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their physical capabilities, their intelligence, or even their cooking. It was their ability to turn absolutely anything into a competition. Additionally, they were only beginning. The entertainment industry incident. 2 weeks after what was now being called the PowerPoint incident, Jessica found herself summoned to an emergency meeting of the Galactic Entertainment and Media Regulatory Commission. The Commission's headquarters, a massive holographic structure that changed shape based on the current ratings of various entertainment programs, was practically strobing with anxiety. With all 6 of their media consumption organs pulsing rapidly, Ambassador Thompson, chairperson of the commission and a Talaxian entertainment mogul named Vix Voom, addressed her. "We've been looking at submissions for human entertainment over the past 3 decades, and we've found some differences." Jessica, who had been playing what appeared to be an extremely advanced version of Tetris on her neural implant, looked up with an expression of practiced innocence. "Oh, do tell." A Malaxi analyst stepped forward. The Vespidian commissioner's translator was stuck in all caps from sheer agitation. "We intercepted a signal from something called Netflix and Chill, Quantum Edition." "Oh yeah, that's the basic streaming package," Jessica replied, pulling out her phone. "Wanna see what happens when humans really get into entertainment?" Before anyone could stop her, she activated a holoscreen that filled the entire chamber. The assembled aliens watched in stunned silence as footage began to play. "This is what we call a weekend gaming session," Jessica explained as the screen showed humans participating in video games that altered the fundamental constants of the universe. "And this?" She pointed to what appeared to be a book club scene. "That's our entry-level interactive literature. The books read back to you, rewrite themselves in response to your irrational desires, and occasionally attain sentience and establish their own book clubs. But, the colors of a proximate entertainment executive were rapidly changing. The virtual reality systems you submitted to the Gaming Expo were running in safe mode," Jessica finished. "We didn't want to get into any trouble. Last time someone played our full immersion version of The Sims, they accidentally created 3 new universes and a particularly aggressive strain of sentient pasta." The room erupted into its now familiar chaos, but this time with an added layer of existential dread as various species realized that their most popular entertainment formats might be humanity's equivalent of children's programming. "Is that why your representatives always seem so amused during our annual virtual reality showcase?" Vix Voom asked, their media consumption organs now pulsing in what humans had learned to recognize as their species' version of a stress headache. "Well." Jessica pulled up another screen, this one showing what human children actually played with. The footage of quantum-entangled Lego sets that could restructure reality and AI-powered teddy bears that solved grand unified field theories caused several commissioners to need immediate psychological counseling. "But surely," a brave Arxian commissioner ventured, "your social media must be relatively normal." The laugh that escaped Jessica's lips caused 3 different species to develop new anxiety responses on the spot. She began, "Let me tell you about something we call deep TikTok," but was immediately disrupted by emergency klaxons as the building's reality stabilization systems detected potentially harmful levels of mimetic energy. "Stop." Using all 6 of their media consumption organs to avoid the repercussions, Vix Voom yelled. "We understand that you have also been avoiding entertainment, but why?" "Why?" Jessica's expression softened slightly. "Have you ever attempted to explain Facebook to a person who has never used it? We had to help you get used to it. Besides," she added with a grin, "we wanted to see what kinds of entertainment other species would come up with on their own. And I'll tell you about that Malaxi reality show in which contestants have to change the shape of their crystals to match random quantum fluctuations. Utter genius." The Malaxi commissioner preened slightly, their structure briefly refracting light in a pattern that technically qualified as a new form of mathematical proof. So what now? The Proximant executive finally chose a hue that was somewhere between terrified and intrigued when he asked. Well? Jessica said as she took out what appeared to be a standard smartphone but was actually a pocket-sized record of human entertainment history. We were thinking it might be time to launch a new entertainment division. Something that brings together the best of our species' creative potential. You mean, Vix Vixvum's organs pulsed with sudden understanding. Exactly, Jessica confirmed. It's time for the galaxy's first truly cross-species reality show. We're going to call it so, You Think You Can Cross Space-Time? The entire commission was silent for exactly 3.7 seconds, which, Jessica noted with amusement, was becoming something of a galactic standard for processing human revelations. We're in, Vix Vixvum declared, all their organs glowing with excitement. But on one condition. Indicate it. In the talent section, PowerPoint presentations are not permitted. Jessica laughed. Deal. Though I should probably warn you about human karaoke nights. The commission collectively decided that some revelations could wait for another day. Besides, they had a reality show to plan. One that would, thanks to human involvement, probably end up creating its own universe where the laws of physics were determined by audience voting. As Jessica left the meeting, she couldn't help but wonder how the galaxy would react and they discovered what humans could really do with their dating apps. However, that information could wait. Right now, she had to prepare for her appearance on Galactic Iron Chef, Quantum Flavor Edition, where she planned to introduce the cosmos to something humans called fusion cuisine. And not the kind that involved nuclear reactions. Well, not just nuclear reactions. The academic awakening. The Galactic University's Grand Amphitheater was packed to capacity, with representatives from every major educational institution in known space. Jessica stood at the podium, casually flipping through what appeared to be student homework assignments on her tablet. Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all configurations. She began. I suppose you're wondering why I called this academic conference. Is this about the quantum physics homework? A Vespidian professor buzzed anxiously. Their translator was still stuck in all caps from the entertainment industry revelations last week. Actually, Jessica said, bringing up a holoscreen that displayed various human academic achievements. It's about all of it. The physics homework. The literature essays. The mathematical proofs. It's possible that we underestimated our academic abilities slightly. Jessica pulled up examples of actual human undergraduate work as the group of academics watched in increasing horror. As a particularly ambitious freshman's philosophy paper accidentally demonstrated the existence of 17 new types of existence, the room temperature dropped several degrees. That's impossible. Stammered a proximate theoretical physicist, their color shifting to a shade of disbelief previously unknown to chromatic science. These provide solutions to issues that we have not even discovered yet. Jessica swiped to the graduate-level work and said, oh, this is just the intro courses. A doctoral thesis that had somehow transformed into a sentient dimension shocked a number of professors at Miloxi. But your submissions to the Galactic Academic Journal. High Scholar Zektar of the Arxian Science Academy's membrane frills were vibrating at a frequency that threatened to achieve nuclear fusion. Yeah, about that, Jessica scratched her head sheepishly. We thought it might be better to start with the basics. You know, ease into it. The last time we published an unredacted human physics paper, it accidentally created a temporal paradox that made Tuesday happen twice. Is that why we have 2 Tuesdays now? From the back, someone called. That was you? Another voice joined in. My species evolved an extra appendage to deal with Second Tuesday. Sorry about that, Jessica offered. Though you have to admit, the extra appendage comes in handy for multitasking. The room erupted into its now traditional chaos, but with an added layer of academic fervor as various species began to realize the implications for their research. But what about the Universal Scientific Database? All four hands were frantically taking notes as the Talaxian researcher asked. The one that supposedly contains all known scientific knowledge. Jessica's grin became extremely naughty. Ever wonder why humans insisted on maintaining our own primitive internet? She pulled up another screen, this one showing the true extent of human scientific knowledge. The resulting display caused 3 different quantum computers to achieve consciousness, just so they could faint. That's. High Scholar Zakthar was now vibrating at a frequency that technically qualified as a new form of space travel. The actual human internet? Yeah. Jessica nodded. Turns out, when you combine cat videos with quantum mechanics, you get some interesting results. Did you know that every time someone posts a meme, they're accidentally solving part of the unified field theory? But why conceal this? A crystal-clear professor who had just recovered from their shock-induced dispersal demanded. Remember what happened when we revealed our true capabilities in sports? And cooking? And entertainment? Jessica shook her head. We figured dropping all of this at once might be a bit much. Besides, she added with a wink, do you have any idea how many PhD dissertations have been written about primitive human science? We didn't want to invalidate all that research at once. The assembled academics took a moment to process this. Their various appendages, organs and crystalline structures twitching with a mixture of horror and excitement. So what now? Asked their translator, who finally managed to turn off caps lock, the Vespidian professor. Well, Jessica said, pulling out what appeared to be a normal textbook, but was actually a pocket universe containing an infinite library. We thought it might be time to start a new academic project that brings together all of our species' knowledge. We're calling it Project, Actually Understanding the Universe this time, we mean it. That's quite a name, High Scholar Zakthar noted. The marketing department is still working on it, Jessica admitted. But the point is, we want to collaborate, share knowledge, really push the boundaries of what's possible when we all stop holding back. A Proximan quantum theorist inquired, and if we agree, their color now? What exactly would this collaboration entail? Jessica said, bringing up one final holoscreen. For starters, we thought we might show you what happens when you combine actual rocket science with human social media algorithms. The resulting demonstration caused the amphitheater to briefly exist in 7 different dimensions simultaneously, while the university's AI system achieved enlightenment and immediately applied for tenure. Also, Jessica added, as various species picked themselves up off the quantum-entangled floor, we should probably talk about what human kindergartners are actually doing in their finger-painting classes. It turns out that using the right colors, abstract art can solve differential equations. Jessica looked at her quantum-encrypted calendar as the academic community tried to process the implications of 5-year-olds accidentally discovering new physics laws through arts and crafts. She would have to explain why human basic accounting had been causing spontaneous outbreaks of economic theory in a meeting with the Galactic Business Council tomorrow. But that was tomorrow's crisis. Right now, she had to help the university's maintenance staff deal with the sentient thesis that had started teaching its own classes in applied metaphysics. At least it was proving to be a popular professor. The business bombshell, the Galactic Business Council's headquarters on Alpha Centauri's financial moon, was designed to intimidate. The building itself was a monument to wealth, with floors that showed real-time market fluctuations across 17 dimensions of economic space and walls made of rare quantum crystals. Jessica entered wearing flip-flops and carrying a coffee mug with the inscription, "Your market cap is cute." Ambassador Thompson, Chief Financial Director Pexelhor of the Proxim in Commerce Consortium, addressed her, their crystalline business suit shifting through various shades of fiscal anxiety. We've been examining some irregularities in human business practices. Oh. Jessica sipped her coffee, which appeared to defy several thermodynamic laws. Did you finally notice that our simple Earth stock market isn't actually running on the system we submitted to the Galactic Exchange? The gathered business leaders stopped moving. A Maloxy investment banker accidentally crystallized their entire portfolio. What do you mean? Demanded Trademaster BZZT Click of the Vespidian merchant hive, their antennae twitching in what veteran traders recognized as the prelude to a market crash. Jessica pulled out her phone, which briefly caused several quantum computers in the room to file for digital bankruptcy out of sheer inadequacy. Remember that we stated that humans utilize a fundamental binary electronic trading system? She pulled up a holoscreen showing the actual human financial markets. The demonstration prompted 3 distinct AIs to immediately resign and establish a community devoted to post-scarcity economics. All 17 of their eyes widened in horror as High Trader Zixtel, who had been promoted following the sports incident, whispered, "By all that is profitable. Is that algorithm involved in emotional futures trading?" Jessica replied casually, "Oh, that's just Wall Street's kindergarten class. Wait until you see what happens when our day traders really get going." While attempting to optimize their coffee futures portfolio last week, a new type of mathematics was created by accident. But, a Talaxian hedge fund manager stammered, all 4 hands clutching various stress relief objects. "The cryptocurrency markets you showed us?" Jessica's laugh caused several market indicators to spike spontaneously. She pulled up another screen showing the actual state of human digital currency. The room's reality stabilization systems filed a union complaint due to the resulting display. "Is that cryptocurrency gaining consciousness?" someone asked incoherently. Jessica responded, "Only on Thursdays. It prefers to investigate alternative aspects of value theory on Wednesdays. To give it a break, we had to create Second Tuesday." The room burst into its now familiar chaos, this time with an added layer of financial panic as various species realized that their entire economics concept might need to be revised. "Why, then?" Paxil Hoare, the chief financial officer, demanded, their suit now changing colors to suggest various new economic schools of thought. "Why hide your true financial capabilities? Remember the great galactic market crash of 2157? Jessica asked, raising an eyebrow. "The one that occurred when compound interest was proposed." The assembled financial leaders collectively trembled. 3 species had developed entirely new forms of currency just to cope with the trauma. "Well," Jessica continued, "we figured introducing concepts like quantum derivatives and probability-based futures all at once might be a bit much. Besides," she added with a grin that would have made Gordon Gekko weep, "watching your reaction to human day trading has been pretty entertaining." Those weren't real day traders. Trademaster Bizd Click's translator was struggling to convey their mixture of horror and admiration. "Those were our retirement home investment clubs," Jessica said. "Sweet old ladies who trade quantum futures between bingo games." Speaking of which, she checked her watch, which appeared to be telling time in at least 4 different dimensional frameworks. "I probably ought to inform you that the garlic bread futures market is about to undergo changes." "Which market is it?" "Remember that Italian grandmother I mentioned? The one who uses pasta to create black holes?" Jessica's grin became extremely prey-like. She just discovered commodities trading. As if on cue, every market monitoring system in the building began flashing warnings. Somewhere in the distance, the sound of reality hiccuping could be heard as traditional Italian cuisine collided with advanced financial instruments. Jessica reassured the panicking financial leaders, "Don't worry. She's just cornering the market on Parmesan," although she squinted at a particularly aggressive market spike. "It appears that she has also developed a novel method of trading derivatives based on sauce viscosity."